Good evening, my lovelies. What it do, what it do, what it do. This is Ms. Yaakov coming straight from that Spiker Star, a.k.a. the Messenger, a.k.a. the Virgo Goddess, a.k.a. the Daughters of Zion, a.k.a. that Topaz Gem Sapphire. Hey, listen, always have a message for you, but it's up to you to discern, Ms. Yaakov was trying to say. Remember, I'm just outside looking into your world, seeing things that you just don't see, okay? But dig this here. The name of this is called The Biggest Drug Deception. Okay, it's a lot of deception going along with this shutdown. Now, before the shutdown, it was the big beautiful bill. Okay, they was talking about voting on the big beautiful bill and the budget cuts and just all this stuff going on. Then you had Project 2025 and then Agenda 2030 and just all this extra stuff that's going along. And then boom, here comes the shutdown, okay? Now all of a sudden, 1 minute, the recipients wasn't getting their SNAP benefits, okay? And then the next minute, oh, the judge declared it illegal and Trump has to do this and Trump has to do that. And then now it came out and said that Trump vetoed the judge and blocked people from getting their SNAP benefits and all this stuff that's going on. And then turn around, okay? Now turn around, all of a sudden, they're going to get a little bit of it. It's a contingency fund, and the contingency fund isn't their full amount, but it's just extra money that they had floating around, and just saying all this stuff. And then now all of a sudden, allegedly, they trying to vote off on a bill, and nobody's talking about the bill. Nobody's talking about the bill. Like, what bill? What they voting on? Didn't they vote on the big beautiful bill? You see the confusion in that? They already voted on the big beautiful bill. So what other bill that they talking about that that they need to vote on to open up the government? I don't understand. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But God isn't the author of confusion. So you got to have strong discernment and very, very high alert critical thinking skills to think outside the box where it is going, because it's a lot of curveballs, a lot of deception going on. They saying one thing and turn around and doing something else. And then Trump said even out his mouth that they're cutting back on a lot of the Democratic programs. This is what Trump said out his mouth. Okay, so what bill are they voting on? And then now all of a sudden the government might be open back up again, and then they need to fund the government until January 30th. Let me just say this. Let's just hypothetically say that they do fund the government until January 30th. They got to reprint money. Okay, they have to reprint a lot of money. Okay, and then still got to come up with the deal and still reprint some more money. The debt deficit is over 38 trillion. It can't go no higher than 38 trillion. And then the thing about this is that in order for the government to reopen the Federal Reserve and U.S. Treasury has to project more demands and negotiations for new currency to be printed through the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, which distributes the money. Okay, so that contingency fund that they was giving the recipients for food wasn't their actual stamps. Okay, it wasn't their actual stamps for a reason, because they're not printing any more money. Okay, that's just the whole big thing about this. Okay, they're not printing any more money. Negotiations has to be on the table. Okay, and the thing about it is, since this shutdown happened, I seen at least 2 to 3 different businesses go out of business. 2 to 3 different stores go out of business. Okay, see, this is what people fail to realize. The more stores, mom and pop stores, close and shut their doors and go out of business, the less money is being circulated, the less money that they have to print. Okay, a lot of people also is dying off. Okay, which is even lesser money for them to print out, okay, and to fund. And remember, you have a lot of leeches, Okay, you have a lot of leeches. Everybody's hungry, but ain't nobody bringing no food to the table for the feast. Okay, so you got a lot of those, including people in my family. Okay, so you got a lot of leeches out here. You know what I'm saying? And they got a Brady Bunch out here. Okay, so it's crazy right now. It's crazy right now. But anywho, I'm about to get on out of here. Hey, listen, you got to peep the deception that's going on. Okay? We're going to see if they open up. Mind you, everybody's so hyped over maybes and possibility. They didn't say that they was going to open up. They like maybe, possibly, if they do this and they do that, possibly. It's possibly and maybes, and people taking that as if, oh, the government is already open. No, the government is still closed. Okay, it's still closed. And remember, they have to print out more money. Okay, the Federal Reserve and the U.S. Treasury has to project more demands in negotiations for new currency. They got to print out new currency, okay, in order to keep this government open, okay, because remember, you have a lot of recipients, okay, you have a lot of recipients, okay, so they got to make, and a lot of these people that's on these assistant programs with all these kids, they have zero. Zero plus zero is zero. So they negotiating high interest rates on the dollar, yet they're not getting anything back. So they printing more money than they actually getting back, because you can't get anything from them because they're zero, right? So it's only thing now for them is to sacrifice them. That's just it. Sacrifice. When you sacrifice them, you ain't got nothing more to give to them. Okay, that's just it, and that's just all. But anywho, I'm about to get on out of here. You got to peep the game and peep the deception. You got to use critical thinking skills and think outside the box. The whole moral of the story is they're not printing any more money, and they're not negotiating no interest rates on the dollar for it to be printed out and to be distributed. Okay, because a lot of places done went out of business. Okay, and there's been a lot of layoffs that's going on too, okay, as well as a lot of people dying. So it's not really that many people like it used to be, okay, and it's not that much business that's going on like it used to be before the pandemic and during the pandemic, okay? It's not that much of anything that's going on. So the only thing left now is to crash the dollar, okay? Again, I'm about to get on out of here. It's that Spiker Star, the brightest star of the constellation. Looking into your world, see things that you just don't see. I'm going.